kommt und betet mit mir, denn ich allein bin ein Nichts, verdorben, mein Name, mein Leid, mein Reich, mein Wille, mein Fluch über mich und außer mir. Täglich hungert der Leib und dürstet die Seele. Ich ertrage die Schuld, ich ertrage die Beschuldigungen, denn ich bin in Versuchung und kenne keine Erlösung. Denn mein ist das Leid, die Wut und das Streben bis zum Tod. Amen.
Alright, what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video, and this is going to be another video on that list I told you about in some of my other videos that some of you guys that know me and been following me. And it kind of dovetails into all the shit that I talked about, why I agree with some of the people that make the videos about the gang stalking and my interpretations of what it is. You know, it's not a fanatical paranoid thing. With some people it is, but with me it ain't. You can be of any culture. Just because you pissed somebody off, or because you're outspoken, or you do something that somebody don't like, or you have hair that somebody don't like, or you have an image somebody don't like, and then you happen to be doing something well and making them or their relatives look bad. But yeah, I said at the same time, you know, there's always going to be people making up these lies. They're jealous of you. You weren't, there's nothing on any police record that you had of any drug possession, but everybody will say you're on crack, and every dollar you get, you supposedly spend it on crack and on meth. People are always going to say that, you know, it's not going to make you paranoid. But this one video is about one of the list that I actually made to actually use money, put it in the corner, to irritate. I have a bunch of people on the list that I want to irritate, do something different that nobody else does. And this one is particularly, even though I mentioned police in some of the other videos and got digs in, this video is primarily to say that, okay, this was the thing I was telling you about that motivated the rest of the list. It's actually the most important one, really. It should have been the first video on the thing, but, of my list, but it became, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. And saying if you're involved in certain things like charities and good stuff and you made friends, and if anybody ever behind your back do some kind of shit where the police don't really bother you, you know what I mean? But yet, at the same time, they can act nice to your face or cordial, but if somebody important, some people keep calling them to agitate them and talking pictures, you know. To be fair, maybe because they're believing shit, they're not completely evil. Then you get, yeah, some people keep calling until they get some kind of cop that agrees with them, or you get certain ones that, just because they got guns on their hip and badges, that they're narcissistic and violent, you know, when they're actually almost want to be in a rage. They're enraged because they're informants that are actually biased in some cases. They don't find nothing on you, so maybe one day all of a sudden they stop you on the street like they did with me in the middle of the afternoon. Usually the night crowd always gets that, because that's where everybody's drinking and everything. And there's a thing some of you folks need to know too. Some people, this ain't about some of you guys once in a while that smoke a joint now and then or go to the bar. This is, in a lot of cases, you don't even have to drink or anything. There's a thing about when the cops say somebody called and said you're roaming the streets drunk. A lot of that's the night crowd, they are. But in another scenario, people that they know damn well, say you've made friends because you're involved in some good stuff. Even though I swear and make other kind of videos with heavy metal music and fitness on, that some of the some people don't care for. I do that. You do some good stuff, and some people don't like it. You do too well. And anyway, sometimes that when they say, oh, somebody called and said you were roaming the streets drunk. Roaming the streets drunk, sometimes that's code for somebody called and bitched and you're somebody that they don't like. And maybe, I don't know how many times they've been calling the cops and saying some stuff. And the constant repetitive stuff that always goes on, that just because somebody don't agree with something or act or behave like they do or disagrees with something or mad about something, the other guy is always, they play the drug use card. And the drug use card is so fucking easy to play because more and more of the population is, drug use and, legalizing the pot and all. So it ain't, to be fair, it ain't fucking hard for the cops to be believing shit because they're over and over again, it's probably a day's work to them, just to be fair. That they're not completely out to get you. But yet, if you unwillingly piss the wrong person off, and it happens to be in the middle of the afternoon, it's not like every single person, because they're a cop, do this to you either. But, when it's obviously in the middle of the afternoon, and they tell you, put your hands out in the car, and they pick your pockets and search you, they make you lift your head up and see if you're on cocaine, to look in your nose, and say, you don't resist, you do anything, I'll knock your fucking ass out. In my town, they think there's nobody to see because they pick a certain area where there's nobody to see, and people driving by, and some areas in my town, they have eyes, put it that way. When it actually happened, I had people I didn't know from Adam that know certain people of mine walking right up out of nowhere, so it looks like people didn't see shit, and they do. What happened? Because you got the gossips, and they're not female hens and busybodies, but you got a lot of people, different age groups. I know some of you guys are got to know what I mean. And that's good news for some of us too, but you never know, because, they might decide to shoot you and God knows what. But evidently somebody, was being a troublemaker, and just maybe cops were looking for an excuse to go beat up and slam against the car, slam somebody on the ground, pick somebody with a ponytail, slam them against the ground. Especially, if you're doing something good and maybe somebody's relative, more respectable, that they listen to, that are informants, and their word is always gold, so you're making them look bad too. But you got these people with guns on their hip, narcissistic and violent, you give them an excuse. They're looking for somebody. They're looking for wrong. What they do is they do that in politics too. Everybody in my town knew damn well I do things for charities every day on the holidays. And I had haters that were jealous of me because of that, because I did the job too well. They act a certain way behind your back. And your haters are going to be looking for certain things. What they do is, some people are informants or even busybodies and call the cops. And say some of you watching this might smoke a joint now and then and drink beer now and then. You're not even in them big crowds. What people will do is call the cops, and hopefully you got a joint in your pocket or you're drunk and they find that, And this is the people that are maybe a moderate smoke a joint now and then. Which I say, that's why I say I would rather not. But that's the games people play. You can be totally drug-free. I don't waste my money on that shit. I don't got money to spend on that shit. I have other things that I would rather buy before that. But so my thing here about how to get even, and the reason why I decided to create a list, because show how much, just to flaunt some of their face, right online, like how better you are than them. And then the biblically and scripturally correct people that say that, you should, everything, God blesses you in secret, everything you give in secret, God blesses you in secret, you shouldn't do it open. But you got people on both sides, the so-called philanthropists, or however the fuck you pronounce that, stupid shit. They're spending stupid money on stupid shit that they call modern art, while people in their own fucking towns in California are totally homeless on the streets and shit. Both sides, even the religious side. Some of them are given in secret. They're not even. Some of them are not given in secret. They act like they're given in secret. Then all of a sudden it becomes big news. They threw all this But then people like you and me, we involved in something, maybe we trusted money for a charity, for the holidays. You got your haters who would try to start shit, and a few lies, that's all it takes. And if the lies don't work, you made friends with the people. In time, holidays already been gone, and it's already spring and summertime, but you get stopped on the streets by the people because they don't forget. They think, when they can't find shit on you, they think about that shit forever. So they figure they can destroy your credibility with people and isolate you. Oh, maybe they can get the cops to pat you down and threaten violence, and maybe you can get slammed around on the ground a little bit and say you resisted, and people with guns on their hip threatening violence. Yeah, and if they find some kind of drugs on you, oh man, yeah, you do this shit for a charity because you're probably sneaking and stealing it, put in your pocket so you can buy dope and all that. But, people don't buy that lie, but they try a little bit of the time, hoping that they're going to find some kind of drugs on you. Because it's big business. The cops and these informants get kickbacks and for actually get bonuses for everybody they find, or everybody they catch. So that videos they say about gang stalking, that's absolutely true. But yet at the same time, there's definitely no shortage of people walking around doing shit, and they're catching them with drugs, they're catching them with meth, they're catching them with needles. That's true too. So it can go both ways. People will do that shit on purpose. And then when they do it in the middle of the afternoon, you can tell about just how they're saying it. And, literally in the middle of the afternoon, they get somebody that they want to know, that somebody that is respectable might have somewhere that's in the shadows. You upset them or piss them off, or they're triggered, and literally they're pissed off. It's just all how they're saying it. They're actually literally set in some cases to show you who's boss. You're walking around with too cocky of a look on your face or something. Yo, you really think you're so smart, don't you? You know what I mean? So, I think any of you people that, are a moderate Christian to a certain point, and I think if you believe, Jesus chased out the money changers, and they lynched him and then crucified him and nailed him on a pole and beat him and stabbed him with a spear, I'm okay with you guys. But if any of the rest of you guys that all you care about is the big-ass television religions that glorify the prehistoric sacrificial dogma when Jesus is supposed to be ended all that throwing some animal on an altar with some big work, and that Abraham hearing a disembodied voice telling him to kill his son, which it never happened. The story how it was to be, a ram happened to have been caught up in the brush over there, and it was a sign, as a test, which I think that shit is outdated as hell. People back in them days, was very, that's a for a separate video. People that heard disembodied voices, they didn't know the difference, really, to tell you the truth. But anyway, anyway, any of you guys that happen to be a little bit on the religious side for this, or both sides, or any side, if you're trusted with money, you have every right to do something extra in the open, to give up some money if you're able to, because you believe in it, because you want to do the right thing, but at the same time, protect yourself from anybody's bullshit that they want to go and lie. And then, you put it online. If any of the people that call the cops, or the cops that they called, see it, that's a plus too. And whatever attitude they want to have about it, it's up to them. You know what I mean? But I think that in an age where you got cameras all over the place, in an age where everybody from politicians to everybody, school administrators for the public schools and politicians, different sides, all kind of respectable people getting indicted for stealing now, even though you got cameras. So it's best to put yourself out there, and if you have to, without the middle finger, in there, do it without actually obviously flipping the bird, by going putting it out there, so they can't turn people shit. People can't pull their shit, turn their shit, can't twist shit around, try to turn friends you made against you, because, yeah, people are like damn devils. Yeah, sometimes people are out there like devils wearing angels' attire, devils wearing angels' robes. You know, the biggest devils they dress in all kind of ways now. They come in all, what do you call it? What do you want to call it? Orientations, whether they're gay or straight. One side against the other and acting like the other side is an innocent little lamb that's being persecuted. But they're all corrupt and purveying their shit to make money. Keep the conflicts going to make money, you know what I mean? And they all stealing, and they're all like getting people paranoid to give them, oh, we need your money to protect you from the other, and then they're out there with fancy cars and airplanes. But yeah, that's the thing too. You do something the right way, and that's just it. You're outspoken about anybody that the preachers on TV with their fancy airplanes and their fancy studios, $100 or something $1,000 plus or more salary, fancy airplanes, telling you never did anything out in the weather a day in their life in their fancy cars. They never did anything that they had to be under the weather, but yet they're going to be on their stage. If you're outspoken about that, you're going to make those people mad too. Yeah, they'll want to try to get police somewhere to maybe slam you around and maybe throw you in a cage. Maybe hopefully they'll find drugs on you, you know what I mean? Then you get the people on the secular side that are the same way. I mean, you don't worship at their altar or whatever too. They're nice to your face, but they're passive aggressive and all that. And, their relatives might be doing way more drugs than they're accusing you of doing, and they just want to knock you down a notch. That's what everybody is, I think, that they're jealous and they want to knock somebody else down a notch. They're the ones that are the biggest shit. The biggest shit starters are the ones their relatives are doing all the fucking drugs, and they're all giving you dirty ass looks, and they want to knock you down a notch. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. You know what I mean?